Anus is full of exquisitely sensitive nerve endings. For many people, it likes lots of different kinds of touch. And in my world, anal sex is not anal intercourse. Anal sex is any anal erotic contact. So tickling around the outside while you're giving your boyfriend a blowjob, that counts as anal sex. Anal intercourse is a subset of that.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody says to me, oh, I really like anal sex, I still don't know exactly what they mean.
Right. I understand, because there's so many different things that can happen, so many different things that can be done, and there's so much different stimulation. So, and also there's a whole spot inside the anus that's kind of like the G-spot. There is like the men's G-spot. I hate calling it G-spot, but I also don't like calling it sacred spot. I don't know. There's a spot in there for men that is the equivalent of what it's like to touch a woman in that place that's different from touching the clitoris. It's inside the vagina, hidden away, and it's called the G-spot or the sacred spot. Men have that.
Right, it's the prostate.
Pardon?
It's the prostate.
The prostate.
And some people call it the P-spot, and some people call it the male G-spot. I just call it the prostate and leave it at that. But that's me. It's all
but women also have a spot inside them that significantly can touch their G-spot from a different angle.
Yeah. In fact, a lot of women who I've talked with have said that they really enjoy G-spot stimulation through anal penetration. And a couple of women I've talked to have said that they prefer it just because of the angle. In fact, one friend of mine told me that she has better orgasms through anal intercourse than vaginal intercourse just because of the angle that she's at.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's just the way her body is shaped. I'm not saying that that's going to work for everybody.
But here's what it does. It opens up a conversation that has more possibility in it than people just saying, oh, anal. Oh, I love anal sex, and we don't know what we're talking about or what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Just knowing that there's all these options, you could, what you said, tickling around the opening, or having penetration with a dildo, or having penetration like intercourse from a different angle, or whatever. Like, you're just opening up all these possibilities that I imagine many of my listeners have not even considered. And that's what's so important about this conversation.
Exactly. And the fact is, some people only enjoy anal stimulation when it's a side dish, right? Like, I really like anal play when I'm also using a vibrator on my clitoris, or when I'm also getting a blowjob, whatever it is. And that's another thing that you won't see in most porn, because most porn, anal sex is all about anal intercourse and there's nothing else going on. And if for you, anal play is a side dish and you're trying to make it a main course, you're not going to be satisfied with that.
Well, this is great, Charlie. We're kind of out of time. We don't have time to explore it even more. Although I do, I just want to take a couple minutes to talk about the other two concerns. One concern is it going to hurt? And the other one, is it going to get messy?
Okay.
I don't feel we can leave this conversation without saying something about those two concerns.
Okay, great. Well, the is this going to hurt? Anal play never has to hurt. If you're having discomfort, if you're having pain, it means that something needs to change, whether that means you need more lube, you need a different position, you want to use a vibrator to increase the erotic sensation. If it's hurting, you're doing something wrong. And the difficulty is that a lot of guys in particular, when they're on the giving side of anal play, they think they're going slow enough because they've slowed down from a 10 to a 7, but I really want you slowed down to a 3.
Mm-hmm. That's really important.
And it makes a big difference to have your partner as turned on as they would like to be, because the more aroused we get, the more pleasurable it feels. So if you or your partner are having pain during anal play, you need to change something, whether you need to do something differently. Don't endure, because if you endure, it's going to hurt worse.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as the hygiene issue, obviously we do need to be a little bit more careful with hygiene for anal play. But it's really easy to do. Put a towel down on the bed so that you don't have to worry about, lube getting on the sheets. Put on a pair of gloves. My favorite brand is Black Dragon. They're made for tattoo artists, so they're thinner material than medical gloves. And then you don't have to worry about getting bacteria places you don't want it to get. You don't go from anal play to vaginal play without washing up first. These are not difficult things. And you can get lots of tips for both of these concerns on the book's website, prostatepleasureguide.net. That gives you an overview of it. And then, of course, the book goes into a lot more detail.
Charlie, thank you so very much for talking about taboo and for also talking about not taboo and making it so sensible. I mean, you clearly have a handle on how people need to communicate and about what and the kinds of things they need to say to each other. So I appreciate you so much for that. I think it's so needed and so necessary.
Well, thank you, Laurie. And it is always a pleasure talking to you. And I look forward to the next time, either over the phone or in person.